Good morning, beautiful souls. We have a lot of catching up to do. So let's buckle ourselves in. Let's get ourselves a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, your favorite beverage. Now, if it happens to be apple pie moonshine, that's not a beverage. Go to your second favorite, Rez. I am having wild mint and um, uh, wild mint and agastache tea. Two of my favorites. Pouring myself a favorite cup of tea, my favorite cup of tea for an amazing conversation that we're going to have. So, my Viking has arrived. Some of you may remember this from the summer. Wild Woman is just fully on board right now. Okay. So, through all my hundreds of videos that I have put out over the past almost 2 years, I have probably only mentioned the Viking once or twice. It is something that was very, very sacred to me, very personal. I kept that private. So I'll let you in on that part of my life. Along with okay, we are gonna have some uncomfortable conversations here this morning. That's just the way it's gonna go. So I don't know when the Viking first came to me. I've been racking my mind about it, and I'm wondering if it was when I moved into the shed here first, almost 2 years ago. It was like middle of January. Wonder if he came then. That would make the most sense. So the Viking is a spirit guide who came to me, and when I first felt him or first became aware of him, he stood behind me. He wrapped his arms around me, held me very, very tightly. I was in a very precarious place, lonely, had just, left the man I thought I was going to be with for the rest of my life. Very tender, very, very broken and fragmented. And the Viking wrapped his arms around me. And he was tall, like 6'6", uh, long, wavy hair, Viking beard. He just felt like a Viking. That's why he's called the Viking. And he embodied the sacred masculine, the divine masculine. He was everything that I was looking for in a partner that I probably didn't even know yet. When he put his arms around me, I felt for the first time ever the safety, the security, the protection, and the deep unconditional love that I was longing for. Uh, it was profound in a way that there probably aren't even any words. So the Viking and I spent time together over the past 2 years, and he comes in and he comes out, and I have literally felt him. I've been walking along, talking to him, and he'll come beside me and slip his hand into mine. He'll give me hugs. I've had countless conversations with him. I've, you know, cried my tears on my birthday. Uh, I guess my 2 birthdays ago. I asked for a sign. I was walking at Clearwater Lake and I was asking for a sign, and I was in a dark spot, right? Dark space, and I asked for a sign. And I'm someone who doesn't get a whole lot of signs. I can ask for them. I don't ask for a whole lot of signs because I don't get a whole lot of signs. And when I ask for signs, it's like, okay, great mystery, you need to have it like plain as day because if it's not something that's like just like this can't get any plainer, right? Uh, so it has to I can't I don't analyze, I'm not analytical like that. I don't do symbolism, it's just I need to know. So I was walking at Clearwater Lake. I step onto a rock. I was gonna like just put my hands above my head and just like soak in the energy of the lake. So I'm like getting on this rock and I look down and this is what I saw there. This is how they were. Okay. Big heart, small heart, they were nestled in like that. I was like, oh my gosh. And this was like literally 30 seconds after I'd asked for a sign. So I took these hearts, and this became the Viking's heart, and this became my heart. The Viking turned into I'm not sure of the I don't know how this all works, but the way I always saw it was the Viking was the higher self of the partner that I was calling in. So I've carried these rocks around with me for almost 2 years now. Or is it over 2 years? No, it's not over 2 years. I don't know. I don't do time well, can you tell? They've come with me all over this place. I've put so much energy and love and healing into these. I've literally panicked when I haven't been able to find them. And for the most part, they've stayed together. There was a little while this spring when I was doing healing on my heart and I had to had to separate the two of them, and it caused me so much discomfort. Any hoozles. So it, the Viking morphed from a spirit guide into this was the person that was coming into my life. Not a person that I was manifesting. I don't believe in manifesting. I've I've sort of worked my way through that and picked my way through that, and I don't I don't believe in manifesting. I believe that everything is has been set out for me. I believe that I have set everything out for myself. When my soul before I was born and the Viking soul, we got together and said, okay, we're gonna reach each other at some point. And I got not a lot, but I got flack for this. I got people upset with me because here's why I'd never really wanted to talk about it. The flavor of the feminine these days is be strong, be courageous, be independent, be self-sustainable. You can take care of yourself. You don't need a man. You have everything that you need inside of you. You can you can just do it all. And I've explored that. I've been on both sides of the fence. Like I truly tried. I explored that and felt into that, and it would always go back to just doesn't feel right. Yeah, I don't there's something missing in that. Whenever I would talk about how I'm waiting for the Viking to come into my life, you know, I I'd so often hear, "Oh, you're just waiting to be rescued." Well, no, I'm not waiting to be rescued. Am I able to fully be self-sufficient and take care of my own as an independent woman? The honest answer is no, I'm not. And I'm not able to pretend that the answer is anything but no. Is that rescuing? Well, to some of you, it might be, but that's just the reality of my situation. I'm that's just my reality, right? But I've been working on myself with intention so that I can be as healthy and as self-sufficient, like taking care of myself the best of my ability. Well, that didn't quite come out right. I'm working at that stuff, even though um, I'm calling in the Viking. I don't want to be a weak woman who has all her needs catered to. That's not at all my life, not at all the lifestyle I want. I wanted to become as whole as possible before I met the Viking. And I have my list. So like when you manifest things, you write down your list and you're very detailed about it, you're very meticulous about it, you visualize it, you try to live as if you're there already. Um, you can draw pictures, so like I have my little pictures drawn. I did that, but that was more to keep me in a state of higher vibrations. That's was to I used it as a tool. And every time I got into a partnership, and I would figure out, okay, I really like this, but I don't like that so much. I would write down what I liked. What do I want? I never wrote down what I don't want. It's always what I do want. And my list is very extensive right now. You know, it's a few pages long, because I know what I want. Now, did I ever in a million years think that I was going to get it? No, because Um, I'm kind of new to this sort of thing, to like the spirituality and to synchronicities and to things working out. But something that really resonated with me is I will attract into my life, I will come into things that are meant for me, and the things that are meant for me are we're going to be like at the same sort of energy level. So that's why I've been pushing myself really hard and get distressed when I go into depression and that sort of thing because it's like I'm dipping. So like if the Viking is here or if my home is here and I'm like way down here, it's like okay, but I want to keep raising myself up. So because the more I don't know at what point, I don't we don't have to be like this to come together, but I need to be somewheres in the vicinity, right? And when I went into this deep depression in November, I found that difficult because I wondered, am I really pushing myself back? Am I like regressing to the point where I'm like it's gonna like move things back like 2 years? I don't know. I have no idea, but I did have those thoughts going through my mind. I've had this innate knowing for quite a few years that there is going to be one person for me, one single person coming into my life that I was going to spend the rest of my life with, that we were going to intertwine and do amazing things together. Now, I just know things. Like, I don't hear things. Great Mystery doesn't speak to me that way. I don't see things. I just know things. And I just had this knowing. And I would talk about this to people, some people, and there's just there's just a lack of understanding, and I guess I get that too. And I'm feeling a little awkward here now. Okay, let's just get on to the juicy details that I'm sure you want to know. So, and then we can go back and like pick things apart a little bit. Something that I just didn't know was how am I going to know he's the Viking? So, like, I believe there's this very specific man coming, and I'm not out there looking. Oh, we can go down that little. No, we'll go down that bunny trail later. I'm not out there looking. I'm in the shed here working on myself, not on dating sites. I don't go out anywheres looking for a man. No, thank you. I know that when the time is right, something is going to happen. I don't have to leave my shed. I don't even have to have a computer or a phone. That's we think it, right. I keep wanting to go down that bunny trail. So it's like, how am I going to know? So I met this man and we were chatting, and I expressed a little bit of interest, and he expressed a little bit of interest, and I just very forthrightly told him, I'm waiting for the Viking, and I'm not usually so forthright with speaking about the Viking with someone I have just barely met and don't really know. Because as I said, that's something sacred to me. And it's not something that many people understand. So I just told him, I'm waiting for the Viking. I'm waiting for one specific man. And I don't know who he is, and I don't know where he is, and I don't know how I'm going to know who he is. And this man laughed. But he let me continue on, and I explained about the Viking and this and that and whatever. And then when I was done, he says, I have something to show you. So like he lifts up his shirt sleeve and he has a Viking tattooed, a literal Viking tattooed on his shoulder. And he lifts up his other, I can't remember what this tattoo was, but he has another Viking tattoo on there. I'm like, I was so nonplussed. I think that's the word. I was so, I couldn't, I couldn't even absorb it. I think I just brushed it just right. I think I just brushed right past it. I'm like, okay, and then just and then just started talking about something else. And then we said our goodnights and went to bed and over the nights and woke up the next morning. I was just thinking, like, he has Viking tattoos on his. He has a Viking tattoo. You know, how many men would just lift up their sleeve and say, "Hey, here's a Viking." And like Great Mystery is like, Molly, Molly, hello, hello, hello. You asked for a sign that's plain as day. Like, come on, let's connect some let's connect some dots here. So, I connected the dots very quickly, and wow, I had. Well, I've been saying for a while that whoever the Viking is, it would make sense that he would be a potent healer, someone who is powerful, someone who is strong, someone who I will fit into his life and we will make magic happen. Like we will literally make magic happen. My whole my whole soul's purpose up until this point has been to get myself ready for the Viking. And that's another sore point for people. Because I they hear me talking and they hear me talking and they interpret it and judge me as if you're just hanging all your hopes on a man. You're getting yourself ready for a man. So what? You want me to argue against Great Mystery? You want me to say, "Hey, fuck you, you're wrong"? This isn't me speaking. This is like Great Mystery gave this to me. So this is my soul speaking. If it was just blue-eyed Molly saying, "Yeah, yeah, like this man's gonna come and sweep me off my feet and we're gonna be happily ever after and whatever, we're just gonna go fuck off and live in a little cabin by the lake and just like have sex all day long," and I don't know, like that's not what this is. There's profound soul mission here for both of us. He is the most evolved being that I have met. And I was thinking about that this morning about how humble I am. Like, I feel humble because he's still human, right? He's dealt with his shit. I haven't yet. I'm still going through my layers. They're peeling off pretty fast and furiously right now. But I'm humble that this man who is so powerful and so deeply connected to spirit has the utmost grace and compassion and love for me. I'm still a bit of a shit show, you know? Uh, it just it just awes me. He is showing me what love is. I've never been in love. I don't know what love is. I am loving. I love. You feel my love. I go like this, and people say, "Oh, I felt that." But I don't really have an inkling of the type of love that he is extending to me. And that is where our sole purpose in coming together lies. We are going to show others what love is. We are going to show what love looks like, what true, pure love looks like, because it has been lost. I don't know when it was lost, like thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago. I don't know, but the love that the Viking and I are embarking on is that love. That's the enormity of the soul purpose and the soul mission that I've been feeling for the past years. And I didn't know. I didn't know what it was, but it's just absolutely, it's wild. It is just wild beyond my wildest imaginations. Whatever I had on my list, I've never experienced that. I've experienced like each partner I had a little bit of health from all of them, right? So I put all those little bits of health into one list, and I thought, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna put everything down that I can think of. But I've never actually experienced health, and now that I am experiencing it. It's I want this for I want this for every single one of you. I do. So let's morph this into a little bit of a different direction. There are people who are going to be happy for me, and there are people who are going to be unhappy, and that is already happening. There are people who are ecstatic. Little Tree is one of them. Little Tree, we love you. We love you so, so much. And then there are people who are in their fear. And why are you afraid? So yes, so your perception is I have poor choice in men. Okay, that's the truth that you are sitting in. That I have poor choice in men, I have poor taste in men, I choose the wrong men, I get myself into precarious positions. I don't see it like that. I've never seen it like that. There, I don't believe in mistakes. I believe in learning things and growing and healing and coming through to the other side and then not making that same decision. Okay, so yes, I was in an abusive relationship. I went through that to get me where I am here today. If I wouldn't have had that gift, that was a gift to me. I needed to grow up really quickly. I needed to be given life experience in just a brutally harsh manner. And I needed it done by someone who said, when we were souls together, okay, I am going to, you have asked to grow up really quickly, to be given life experiences in a really harsh, brutal manner. I am going to step up and do that for you. I honor this soul for doing that. It wasn't a light decision, you know? I still hurt for this soul. I don't hurt for his soul, I hurt for this human man because I don't know if he really understands. I learned, I grew, I gained life experience, and then I moved on to the next relationship, which was a whole lot healthier, okay? I knew who more I was. I was like, I have no interest in having an abusive, manipulative relationship ever again in my life. And then the next relationship was more about teaching me about my worth. Okay, something that the gift that the next partner brought me was I am a good lover, you know? Now that did not end well either, right? But there was another gift, and he gave me a little bit more to put onto my list of what I want in a man, what I want in a partnership, what I want for the rest of my life. Okay? And then the next partner came along, and his gift to me was teaching me about steadfastness, what it looks like and what it doesn't look like. And it and that partner taught me that I had come quite far along in setting boundaries, and I wasn't going to put up with a lot of shit before I just said, you know what, this isn't working. I'm not going to spend 3 years trying to work things through or knocking heads and being frustrated. It's like I know what my mission is. You can either come along with it or not. I know who I am. I know what I want. This is not working for me. So just not let's not do this anymore. You know, I learned, you know. And then the next partner came along, and that was quite beautiful, you know. He was my first experience of a divine masculine, of what it feels like to be treated as a divine feminine, to be comfortable as me. It was very eye-opening. And once again, I had way more things to add to my list, and I did. And that also did not end well. But I don't look at the endings. I look at the gifts and the blessings that each of these masculine have given me to get me to the point where the Viking, I finally got myself up to the point where the Viking was able to come in, or we were drawn together. I'm not sure what the right words are, but I want to remind you of where I've come from. Okay? Watch the video, Just a Woman from the Psych Ward. I'm just like each and every one of you. Okay? The difference is, for some of you, I've put in my time. I've um I've engaged in really intense healing. That's the difference. If you don't face your shit, if you don't lift up the corner of the rug and examine all the deep dark shadows that are there that have you keep pressing down and repressing, and it's like they're too painful to look at. As long as you keep doing that, you're not gonna have a loving relationship. You it's not possible. The only possible way to have what I am now experiencing is when you can look at yourself in the mirror and face every single fucking thing that comes up. Every single thing, you gotta examine it. I'm still examining things. Okay? I'm not at the level where it's like completely worked through. But I'm to the point now where I've cleared enough stuff that I'm ready. I'm ready for like this true love, like this pure love. So I want you to go back and I want you to watch that video of where I came from, because it was hell. I have gone through 43 years of pretty much absolute hell. The beautiful thing is where we're at now in this space, in this time, is it's not taking, like I worked on my healing journey quite intensely for over 25 years. It's not taking 25 years to get. It's not, if you start today facing your stuff, it's not going to take you 25 years to get to where I am. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? Because everything is greatly accelerated. You just got to start, and things are going to start flowing, and things are going to start happening. Uh, oh, things are just falling off my shelf here. This Flower is reading this book on the channel. There's a playlist called Dancing the Dream. This is going to get you started. I didn't have this book when I was going through my journey. I just came across this book in springtime, okay? But this exactly describes the journey that I've been on for 25 years, okay? So join Flower as she reads this. Listen to this book over and over and over. Buy it, read it, underline it, mark it up, meditate on it, journal about it, share, okay? And join us as we walk beside each other and heal ourselves. Another really profound thing that you can do for yourself is start doing human garage. You know, that is by far one of the most effective modalities that I have come across for facing your stuff, for giving you the strength to face your stuff without going to talk therapy for years on end, without medication, and if you are going to talk therapy and you are on medication, that's great. So join Human Garage and see within, give yourself a few months and see how you feel. You might not need to go to talk therapy as often. You might not need, you may be able to reduce your meds a little bit. I'm not going to say because I don't know, but it's just something to hold loosely and to see. Okay, so the fascial maneuvers from Human Garage are profound and they're intense. And I would recommend them to absolutely everyone, no matter what your issue, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. Do the human maneuvers or the fascial maneuvers. And it's really, I love it how doing some, what we would call exercises, affects every single area of your being. Okay? It's, you don't need to understand how something works before you do it. You just need to start. And if you don't start, I'm sorry, your life is going to stay shit. That's just the brutal, cold, hard truth. I'm on my soapbox. Another thing that is coming to the channel is I met Short Paul. And Short Paul is, he's into numerology. And we're going to be teaching numerology together. And that is another beautiful way to work on yourself. He has gone through, excuse me, every modality. He has done the deep dives. He has traveled to different places to like do the research. He has put in his work. So it's like what we're going to be offering is almost like a master class. Okay, it's something that I would never have been able to afford. And we're gonna go through it from start to finish. So he's been starting to teach me about the numerology. I'm starting to weave things together a little bit. I'm starting to have like synchronicities with numbers. So that is something that you can do. You know, if you resonate with me, chances are you'll resonate with what we're going to be talking about. And it's going to, like, we're working at presenting it in a manner that's easy to digest, and it's just two people talking with each other, talking to you. We're all walking along beside each other, you know? So those are some of my suggestions as to things that you can do to help yourself. Because, guys, this love that is being offered to me by the Viking, There's no words. You have to experience it. The only way that you will ever experience it is to see what comes up and look at it and work through it. And I'm offering you some tools to help you get started on that. I'm offering you my love and my support. For those of you who are, so going back to the Viking, for those of you who are thinking that there are some of you, I've told the like my inner counsel about what's going on. And for those of you who are fearful for me, for those of you who are now hearing this for the first time and are fearful, I want you to examine why. Why are you afraid? I'm not afraid. You know, if this blows up, and we had this conversation, so I won't get into it now because it's a very interesting conversation. I will talk to you about it. If he is scamming me, if he's playing the long con, so what? You know, I'll pick up the pieces. I'll, you know, what is it? What's the saying? Shake the dust off of my heel and keep going forward. You know, he'll be in my rear view mirror pretty quickly if he decides to con me or to scam me or to break my heart. I'm not putting up with that shit anymore. Okay? So what is the fear that you are experiencing, and why are you experiencing that fear, and why are you putting it back on me? You know? It's part of the path. Okay? You are being called to examine something in yourself. Anyone who now comes on to this video and writes a negative comment, this is about you. This is not about me. Your comment has nothing to do with me. Your negative comment is reflecting back on how you feel about yourself, about how you feel about your life, how you perceive things. I know this will trigger people, okay? Because I know how lonely everyone out there is right now. I know how so many men and so many women have just shuttered themselves off. They have closed their hearts off so fucking tight that they are bound and determined, I will never be loved again. I will not put myself out there to be hurt. I will not love again because I will not be hurt ever again. Guess what? You live in hurt every single day. I've been there, I've done that. I closed my heart off so tightly. So tightly, I just wanted to go around and kill people, you know? I tried killing myself. That doesn't work. If you want to start working on what I have, and when you see what me and the Viking have together, if you want that, you gotta face yourself. And I can tell you with 100% surety it is worth it. For all of you who are feeling triggered by this, and who like the longing is just so deep, it's just such an ache that you don't know how to deal with it. I love you. Feel my arms coming around you and holding you tightly. And if you want, I will walk beside you in this path. And if you don't, that's okay. If you unsubscribe because the pain is too deep, that's okay. I still love you. And my love is always open and available to you. All you have to do is open up. You don't even have to open up a lot. If you're clenching this even just a little bit, just a little crack for my love to come through, it'll come through. There are many, 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 many more conversations to come about this. I've had a pretty wild week and a half. You know, to have something that I know I've been waiting for very impatiently and kicking and screaming like crazy, I might add. But to have this drop into my life without any sort of warning is just It's crazy making, and then that stirred up something that came out in my knee, and I've been immobile. I'm starting to walk now again, but I was literally immobile for a few days, you know, not sleeping, in extreme pain, and facing all sorts of things that were coming up. I am inviting you to embark on this journey with the Viking and I. He will be on the channel eventually. We will be talking about all sorts of things together, showing you what pure, true love looks like. Because that's why our souls are together, you know? Our souls are together not to teach each other things, not like the previous teaching relationships like him and I have had, okay? We are now here to teach others. Our relationship is not going to be a painful relationship. One of the first things he told me was whatever drama or trauma comes, it's coming from you. And that was not a judgment. That was not said in anger or in harshness. He's just said, I've figured myself out. I know who I am. I don't do drama. There's no need for conflict. So anything that comes up, it's going to come from you. And I totally recognize that. I recognize that my insecurities, my skewed perceptions is what is going to cause any conflict or any drama. And I don't want that. So I am knuckling down, and I am like eyes on the path, because I want the beauty and I want the peace that he is offering. I had no inkling that this was available on earth here. I had no concept of it. So apparently it is. And I'm very excited to share this all with you. And if you're going to join me, just take my hands and we'll walk beside each other. And whether you're masculine or feminine, and we will have more of you coming together in true, pure love and joining the Viking and I, because that is what we are here to do. We are here to love. So, thank you for coming along with me on this wild ride and sipping your favorite beverage with me. I love you all so much. Thank you for your love, for your encouragement, for your support. And I'll even thank those of you who are afraid. I still feel your love, and I feel your worry, but it's not helpful. It's not helpful to you, and it means nothing to me. I I just let it go, you know. I might like let it sting me for a moment, but I just let it go because I know, I know, I know what this is about, and I know who I am enough to know that what this is all about. I don't know if that made any sense, but all is well. So here's some love for you. And I invite you to come along with me. And when the Viking joins the channel and joins me, when we join our lives together in a more physical way, lost my train of thought. Oh, join him as well. We'll all join together and we will be one big fucking happy family. All right? All right. Until next time.